My name is Jessie Ace. I'm part of a group of enabled warriors that you've probably never heard of. We're fighting back against our invisible illness and taking the dis out of disability. We don't give sympathy to our symptoms. They enable us to be the warrior that we are. If you ask doctors and nurses, they'd say what we're doing is impossible. But pushing the limits of our conditions is something that we have to break through every single day. See, we push the limits. We are mentally strong, and we can do anything. The question is, how far can we push those limits? This podcast will give you the answers. I'm Jessie Ace, and this is the Disabled to Enabled podcast. Enabled warriors, on our show today we have a warrior with fibromyalgia who finally found her diagnosis in India, of all places. She knows the importance of finding answers. She's on a mission to spread the word of positivity with her social media brand, Happy Mindset. And she also wants to raise awareness of fibromyalgia and become a patient advocate. Enabled warriors, please welcome to the show, Sandy Bista, everybody! Woo!
I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited to spend some more time with you, getting to know you today, Sandy. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Yeah, I have had a really good day.
Good.
I'm really, excited to be able to share my story, and I'm so grateful that you're able to give me this platform. So yeah, thank you so much.
So it's just awesome. So Sandy, let's get straight in by discussing your initial diagnosis. So I'm really intrigued by this. So you live in Australia at the moment, but you were diagnosed in India. So I'm quite intrigued by that. So how did that come about? Can you tell us more about it? Why you went to India?
Sure. Yeah, so what happened was, I was really struggling to get a diagnosis in Australia. And, I was getting sick up and down, and I was working at the time as well. And I would have to be going to a lot of doctors and seeing a lot of specialists. And there was literally no answers from the doctor's end. After about a year, actually, I was quite fed up, I guess, with the whole system. And so my parents, they knew that I was in a lot of pain. And, every day, like, I was struggling to sort of go with the daily life. And after about a year, close to a year, I, decided to actually quit my job and really focus on my health. And finally, the doctors here were just saying that, it's really all in your head. They couldn't really find anything in my reports, my blood test and all the testings they did. And I guess they all came to a conclusion that, it's not really real. And what I was feeling, I guess your body more than anyone. I think that's what I've learned. And so finally my parents, decided, I think we need to go to India. That's where my grandma got her diagnosis for her illnesses. And my mom's couple of her relatives also went to India, this hospital in Vellore. And so we decided, it was just time to, go there and, hopefully get something.
Wow.
And so we finally, went to India and went there. And I think after about a month, that's when I, found out I actually had fibromyalgia. Yeah.
Okay.
So after about a year, I would say.
Wow.
Yeah.
For fibromyalgia, that's actually quite a relatively short diagnosis time, because I've heard people who have took like 10 years to be diagnosed. It's crazy.
Yes. And I've heard even, some people never get a diagnosis, but they think they have fibromyalgia. And I've heard stories where people have like got it, probably they know about it after 20 years. So it's insane.
It is. It really
pretty insane, I would say. Yeah.
So how old were you at this point?
So I was about, I think about 27. Yeah.
Okay.
About 27. So I wasn't like, the youngest, I guess, patient. But, the thing was because I was being sick here and there, and I love doing my own research. So I've always been like a person who does their own thing. And and I knew that, when doctors were like, it's all in your head and all that. but I knew that there was more to this. Like I knew that my body was really trying to tell me something. And I remember doing my own research and went into Google, the Google doctor, I guess. And I I actually told the doctors here as well, oh look, I think I have this. I think I have fibromyalgia, but they were like, oh look, I think you're too young, because they believe that it's in the 50s or older. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I guess you just gotta trust your gut sometimes, really. Yeah.
Absolutely. For enabled warriors listening, like that is such an important lesson. Always just, you are the expert of your own body, aren't you? And I can't get over these doctors who say, oh, you're too young for this, and it's like, but there is a possibility that it still could be, so you still need to check that out.
Yes, yeah. So just listen to yourself. Sometimes.
Totally.
It works. It really works.
You say you left your job as well. What kind of job were you doing at the time?
Yeah, so I was in doing IT sales.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in the whole sales, and I was working as like an account manager there.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess I just had to. I was not able to give it my all, and I just decided it was time for me to like really look after myself.
Yeah.
And finally decided to quit. Yeah.
No, that's a really brave decision to make as well, especially at such a young age of 27. It's like, you're just starting out in your career, and then you're like, okay, I think I'm gonna have to leave this now.
Yes, it was a big step. I mean, I definitely did not want to quit, but then if you don't have help, you don't have anything else. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Because I always say, like, you only ever get one body in life, and you have to look after it the best way that you can, because it's the most important thing. It really is. So what was your kind of first indication that something was wrong with your health, would you say?
So I was getting, I wake up with headaches all the time.
Okay.
Getting dizzy, and getting body aches, and just exhausted. And it almost felt like a really bad flu. Like I'd just wake up with, feeling like crappy, and, just feeling sick, like your body just feeling sick all the time. And so I guess that's when it kind of started it all. And I knew there was something wrong. Yeah. And I guess, you sort of know your body, and you feel all the pain in your body, and you're not yourself. You don't become yourself, and, you go up and down with the mood, and mood swings because of what you're feeling, but you didn't know what was going on. It's like, I guess it's the hardest phase, the whole initial phase, I guess. Yeah.
Definitely that part where your world is just turned upside down, and things you feel like out of control of your own body, don't you? And you just think, oh, like it's like something. And I don't know if it's the same for you, but when I was first diagnosed with MS, and I had like my initial symptoms and things, I realized how much I actually took my body for granted before that.
Yes, totally. Yes.
Weirdest thing, it really is.
Yeah. I think, you learn a lot. Like after this whole diagnosis, I felt like I learned a lot about myself in the 4 years that I have learned, ever in my life. In some ways, I just feel like, I don't know, grateful. Even though, like, I got the sickness, but I learned so much about myself.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say as well. Like, can you describe like the person you were before the diagnosis, and the person that you kind of are now? Like, has it changed you in any way?
Yeah, sure. I think I would say that I've always had a positive mindset, even before and after. But I think now I've learned to love myself even more, and that I have something to give to the world. Like, the reason I guess wanted to share my story was that I want people to be inspired with my story. And if there's people out there, struggling with the same kind of illness, that we're not alone, and we're all in this together. It could be, chronic illness, it could be mental health, it could be anything. But I wanted to be able to have a community where we're all able to come together and share, something, and we can always give back in that way. And the other thing is, I think I've just learned to be a lot more brave, and feel that I can be more vulnerable now. Like back before my illness, I felt like I was always a bit more shy to share my story. But now I just feel that I can be more open about myself, and that really helps because you're able to really connect with people at a more deeper level. And I feel that I need to live a more of a meaningful life. And I think success and life in a different way compared to what I was before my illness. So I think it's taught me so many lessons that I just feel blessed at times.
That's amazing. It really is. And I can completely relate to you 100% on that, because it really does, like, it changes your whole outlook and your perspective of everything, and suddenly like small problems don't seem as much to worry about anymore, because you can think, well, I've got this massive thing going on in here, like this doesn't matter anymore. It's weird. So weird.
It is, but in a good way. It just I think you learn to become more aware about certain things in life.
Definitely.
And as you said, like the whole perspective, like the whole outlook of life really changes. Like for me, it definitely did. Like a whole 360. Just the way you want to be able to help people. And I always felt like I always was born for like a purpose, I guess.
Yeah, I had that as well.
And I just don't know what it was, but I feel like there's more of a clear path now than compared to before. It was more like I always wanted to do something, but now it's like, okay, look, this is what I kind of want to do.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. What was it that really made you want to raise awareness of fibro in particular?
So I felt that when I was going through this whole diagnosis, not being understood, and getting the judgment from the outside world. I was very lucky in the sense that I had a very close-knit family, friends that really supported me. But there's still people outside of that where you feel the whole judgment happening, because the thing with fibromyalgia is it's an invisible illness. So whatever you feel, you feel it, but you can't see it. So it's not an injury, or it's not something that you can really be seeing on someone, and you look completely fine on the outside. So people don't really have an idea what's going on with you, which kind of makes sense. And until you're not in someone's shoes, it's kind of hard for them to understand as well. So I sort of wanted to raise this awareness so that people are more accepting of one another, more understanding, and sort of see that, okay, this is why this person is doing certain things. And the thing is, in my 4 years of fibromyalgia, I would look to someone in the external world. Oh, okay, this person's always canceling plans or doing things last minute. And, to that person, you come across like, oh, you're not responsible, because why is that person doing certain things, right? So I just feel that, people have a better understanding about the illness, and what they have to go through, even as a person that's employing you. If they have a better understanding of your illness, the daily struggles that you have to go through, you could be great one day, the next day you're like, in bed, or like days. So I think that it's really important for people to understand where you're coming from and what you're feeling. I just want to be able to create an community where people are able to be openly able to share the story. They're not, embarrassed about their illness, more so that they're more empowered about what they have and what they have to offer to the world. So I guess that's the reason I really wanted to be able to share what I went through the whole 4 years of my life.
That's amazing. It really is. And sharing so much information about an invisible illness in particular is always really, really good, because people do not understand what is going on. How have you found to kind of best manage your illness? Are you more of a medical, clinical, do you take tablets for it, or are you more of a natural food kind of person? Like how?
Okay. So the thing is, I do both things. So I am on medications as well, but my dosages aren't as high as what I've heard people taking it. And the thing is, I also try to do, meditation, yoga. I try to eat a lot healthier than what I used to as well, more conscious of that. Yeah, so I really believe, like, from the get-go, that it's always about like having the right mindset. And even if you've got fibromyalgia, you can still have like a right mindset that really helps you sort of excel in life. And you don't see yourself as a victim, you just see yourself as having an illness and trying to accept what you have. So the whole acceptance, and trying to, I guess, do more of the natural things than I mean, I do take painkillers and that kind of thing, but I love doing meditation. I think that really helps you, like, take out all the negativity and focus more on what you can do and be more positive in life, because that really goes a long way. Yeah,
it seriously does. I mean, like, I remember when I was first diagnosed, I was in such a negative mindset, and I just felt so much pain, and I was weak all the time, and everything got on top of me, everything just built up and built up. But as soon as I actually went into personal development and I learned to do meditation and things like yoga and affirmations, especially affirmations are a big one for
yes, yes.
I found that it was actually better to almost manage my condition in that way than it was even to take medication, because medication gives you so many side effects and all that sort of stuff. And I mean, and mindset is free. You can just learn the mindset that you need to learn. So it's brilliant. And enabled warriors listening, I have written an ebook on how to manage your symptoms without taking more medication. So I will put that in the show notes, so please go and click on that. It's free. Go and read it.
I'll definitely check that out. That's really great.
I'll send it to you after.
Yeah, definitely. I'm keen to look into it.
Awesome. That's really good. And you mentioned about being a patient advocate as well. And I actually know a really good website that could possibly help you. So remind me to send you that after.
Yes, please.
Because that's like a really good platform for all of that sort of thing. So I'll definitely send you that. Just please remind me, because I will forget by the end of it. So can you tell us some more about what Happy Mindset is all about?
Yeah, sure. So I started Happy Mindset a couple of years back. So I've got an Instagram page and a Facebook page. Now I started a YouTube page as well. So I wanted to create a page that is filled with a lot of positivity. So when you're in that page, I wanted people to feel a certain feeling. And also over there, I do mental health, also chronic illnesses and fibromyalgia. So it's more like building a community where people are more aware about all these illnesses and trying to sort of reduce the stigma that's surrounding all these, conditions. And the more people know about it, the more, you're able to understand each other. And I guess finding that, uniqueness in everyone, and understanding that there is one life to live, and we all have to just live a really meaningful life and a happy life. I think that's so important.
Living a life with purpose is the most important thing, I think.
Yeah. And that's why I even called it Happy Mindset, because I feel like it all starts from the mind. Like whatever you do, even if it comes to the whole pain, like even when I have a lot of pain in my body, like I sometimes do push myself, and I guess it all comes down to that mindset. Sometimes of course you can't, and all you need to do is learn to take a break. But yeah, so I think it's so important to have a good mindset. And really, like, everything kind of stems from that, I believe. Root cause of all problems, like the negativity, being doubtful, not being able to love yourself. So all of that, I'm really intrigued about all those, I guess, that area. And so I'm hoping to really have a good community where we can all connect, like-minded souls connecting.
Amazing. So is that your vision for how it's going to go, where it's going to be?
Yes. And I definitely want to be able to, hopefully in the future, have a community where people are able to actually meet in person.
Oh,
I love the whole digital aspect, but being able to really connect, face to face. And yeah, so that's my, future, I guess, goals, to be able to really have, people sharing the story, having a platform where, because with the whole mental illness and the whole chronic illness, it's still a topic that's, it gets talked about, but not much action is out there. And I'd really want to be able to help people like overcome certain aspect of those conditions, really. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Let's see how that goes.
How did you find the messaging that was out there when you first kind of started to look into fibromyalgia? Was it quite a negative kind of story around that, or was there like a positive role model that you found? Or
the thing is, from the groups that I'm part of, it is really helpful to have like those groups on Facebook. So because you learn a lot about what people use, what medications, and there's so much out there. But I guess you can help each other because the doctors actually don't even know a lot about this. So it's all about just, I guess, management of the pain. There's not really a cure for it. And I feel like a lot more research needs to be done. But from what I remember researching back in the day, it was an illness that a lot of the time people actually don't believe that you have it. So a lot of the time they're saying that, oh, okay, it's all in your head. And a lot of the doctors over here also don't want to diagnose you really, like, because they don't even believe it themselves. So that I really hope, like, people don't want to be making things up. And that whole thing of, oh, okay, they're just doing it to get attention, or just doing it, for whatever reason it is. But I think that, people are saying that they're sick. I think they are literally sick. And I think, people just need to learn to accept it and realize that people are, they do have this illness. Yeah.
I mean, how did they initially test you for it, if we can go back to that a little bit? Like,
sure.
Loads of tests and things.
Yeah, so a lot of blood tests got done, and with fibromyalgia, there isn't a particular, one blood test that says, oh, you've got this. So they go through a process of more like a elimination.
Right. Okay.
So, they test you for, let's say, lupus, or they test you for some other chronic autoimmune illness. And they kind of go through that, so testing for other things to say that, okay, you don't have that. So it's more like a process of elimination. And then looking at the symptoms what you've got, because I guess that's how they usually diagnose it. That's how they did that with me as well in India.
Wow. Yeah. I find it fascinating. I really do.
Yeah.
Even more fascinating that you can have that there are so many invisible conditions. I didn't realize how many invisible conditions there actually were until I started doing this podcast. And
it is. It's quite it's really interesting. And the thing is that a lot of the illnesses actually like overlap.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, some people with MS, or some people with ME, or other like chronic illnesses, they kind of all overlap. So then there's more of a confusion happening. And sometimes I think I've heard stories where, like, people have wrongly been diagnosed because all the symptom kind of matches, and there isn't a particular test to do that. So it's such a it's a vague, it's such a vague chronic illnesses. There's so much out there. I really feel that more research and more money and more things needs to be kind of spent in this. I
think it will. I think it honestly will, because we've had, I mean, there's been so much more research and things gone into mental health, and the stigma of mental health, I think, completely changed in the last few years, even, to be honest. I think it is coming. It is coming.
Yes. Looking forward to that day.
Yeah, totally. But I think it does really help. And I know this divides people in Facebook groups and things everywhere, but I do think it really helps when people like celebrities and high-profile media people kind of come out with conditions like that.
Yes.
Because it does help.
And I think people are more open to sharing the story. Because sometimes people want to just kind of deal with it themselves.
Yeah.
But it's really nice because Lady Gaga, I think a year ago came out and said, oh, she had fibromyalgia as well.
Yeah.
So it's great when there's more advocates out there and more people finding out these things actually exist.
Yeah, and how she does all of her performances and things with fibromyalgia, I've got no idea. Like, I really do admire her quite a lot. It's crazy.
It's amazing.
It really is. So I'm really interested in where your entrepreneurial streak came from. And would you say you've always been an entrepreneur, or has it really materialized since your diagnosis?
I think even before my illness, like after I graduated, so like, which was a long time back. And because in my family, like my parents always, did business. Even when we were young, like they had, businesses like us growing up. And I don't know, there was something in me that always wanted to do something for myself. And that was always there. It just, at the time had no idea what I wanted to do. And I guess like with the whole, me having a event planning business now, I always loved planning. And, my sister and me, like we always, used to go out and do event planning for like family or relatives. But then we thought, oh, why not, turn this into an actual business? Because that's something we really loved. And so it's been a lot of fun actually, working with my sister.
Wow. I love that. So let's go into that a little bit more. So you run an event planning business with your sister now.
Yes.
It's called Good Vibes Events, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And so excited to hear more about this because it's really interesting. So how do you find working closely with your sister? Like, are you the kinds that just get on really well, or do you fall out sometimes? Or because me and my brother fall out all the time.
Yes. I think we have because we both are very visionary, I guess I would say. So we do have a lot of ideas, and working with my sister has been great because we've always been such like, I guess, best friends the whole time. And just working with her has been even more fun. It's so much fun, like, being able to do the things that you love. And we're both pretty much on the same page. Like sometimes, we have different ideas and then we sort of put that together. But it's honestly has been one of the best things I think I've done. Because, and being an entrepreneur, it feels great. It just feels right. Doing what you love, I think that's a lot of fun. And the thing is, we have our discussions, like sometimes we do fight about some ideas or things like that, but majority of the time I think we're great. Like we work really well together as a team.
That's amazing. And does she understand your condition, do you think, and is that easy to deal with?
Yes. The thing is, because I now talk a lot more about how I feel. So I think it makes, things a lot easier for them to understand where I'm coming from. And the best thing about my family and friends, most of them, it's like they really, there's no judgment. And they actually really understand where, okay, this is a fibromyalgia and this is what she goes through, the phases I go through. And they've just been so understanding. Like, love it.
Because you said you have quite a lot of chronic illness in your family as it is anyway.
Yes, my mom has arthritis as well, and my grandma also has arthritis. And my mom's side, I think they have a couple of chronic illnesses. So I guess, I don't know how. I mean, they say it's not really, genetics when it comes to fibromyalgia, though. So I don't know how. Something random.
It's in there somewhere. It's probably something to do with epigenetics or something. That's a topic for another day.
Yes.
I'm pretty obsessed with epigenetics at the minute. It's just fascinating. Anyway, so do you have any kind of techniques for coping with, juggling all the plates that you need to juggle when you're self-employed? Because there is a lot to do when you're self-employed. How do you manage that, do you think?
So the thing is, I think being able to, like, be focused, and try to do not too many things, and having little steps and having little goals, smaller goals than a big one. I think that's what's helped me when it comes to self-employment, and because you are your own boss, so you sort of need to be aware of like what your priority is, what's urgent, what's not, and sort of tackle it in that way. And using some tools, and really getting on top of those things that you just need to get done and out of the way. And I guess having my own business, like and having chronic illness, it just gives me a lot of flexibility. Like there's no one to tell me, okay, you have to do this. I get to make my decisions, and if sometimes I'm not feeling good at certain time of the day, I feel better like towards maybe the evening time. So I make sure that I get work done during that time. So yeah, it just it's such a great thing because you have a lot of ways to work around what you have to achieve. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I love being able to just have a nap in the middle of the day.
Yeah, I do that. Yes, that's one of the best things, honestly.
Oh
Yeah. You just wake up and you're refreshed and you're just ready to get back on it. Yeah.
oh gosh, amazing. So do you have any advice for anybody who is maybe sitting at home, maybe they are on disability or whatever, and they're thinking, I'd like to do that, I'd like to have my own business. Do you have any tips for how they would get started or anything like that?
Yeah, sure. I guess really finding out like what you really enjoy, and what you're really good at. Like with us, like we just kind of fell into it in some ways because we were just doing planning things for people sometimes, and we just thought, okay, wow, this is something we actually really enjoy doing, and it does not feel like a job. Like you when you go to 9 to 5, you're working and you just feel like, okay, I can't wait to get out.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you love what you do, it's like you could be working, I don't know, 12 hours or till midnight, and it just does not feel like a job because you're enjoying it so much, and you just have to learn to have a lot of fun with that. I think just find out things that really, I don't know, wake your soul and just makes you happy, like just makes you really happy.
And that is so important because it is
Yeah.
one of the hardest things, I think, to run your own business. Like it's
Yes.
don't think that it's easy, Enabled Warriors, because it's seriously not, but it is worth it. It is worth it.
It is.
You have to be able to just like, if you're willing to do one thing for hours and hours and hours and on end without being paid for it, then that's probably a really good way to start a business.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly. Definitely agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So what is your personal dream for the future? Like how do you see things in the future?
Yeah, so my personal dream would be to be able to impact the world, and being able to have a community where people are able to open up about their struggles. It could be mental health, could be chronic illness, fibromyalgia, and come to be able to really unite and love each other and create a community where no one is afraid to speak up what they're feeling, and they feel that okay, their story really matters. So I feel that I want to be able to create that platform for people to be able to come and share their journey of anything they may be going through, and to have a community where everyone just loves each other.
That's really that's really, really nice.
Yeah, well, I think when there's so much love, I just feel that half of the problems would disappear.
Totally.
That's what I yeah.
Totally. So what advice would you say to someone who is newly diagnosed, maybe with fibromyalgia, and just don't really know what to do or what it means or where to go or anything like that? What would you say to them?
Yeah, sure. So I feel that when you get newly diagnosed, I think you just gotta really try and accept because it is a lot to take in, because your what you used to be is not, it's not going to be that anymore. So you just have to learn to, I guess, come to that realization that, okay, this is what my life will be like. And and not really have a like a victim mindset. Try to be someone that feels that, okay, not to be ashamed of your condition. I think that's with a lot of people, where they feel what they have is something you shouldn't share. But I think that even if you're able to inspire or empower someone, I think it's really important that you're able to do that. And also have a lot of, I guess, have a be patient with yourself, because it's a learning curve. Like even after 4 years, I still have my days where I don't know, even if I have done all the right things, and I still do get sick. So it's just that process you take yourself through, and just to always have hope. There's always going to be light at the end of the tunnel. And there will be people to support you. Just also need to learn to ask for help, and love yourself even more. Like look after your body, like if there's a party, or if there's something you really want to go to but it might hamper you, so learn to, like, you just need to learn to say no sometimes. And it is because I'm a person that I like FOMO, right? I used to have a lot of FOMO, but now I'm like, you know what, I need to look after myself. And I've just learned to, like, not get impacted by that. Like, I don't try to be sad, or I didn't get I missed out on something. So I just don't try to, like, really think about that, and try to do my own things, like take care of myself, read a book, do meditation, and so I think that's just really helped me. And it's a journey that you go through.
It's a journey, and it's really important to say as well that acceptance, and getting that acceptance, actually takes can take quite a long time.
Absolutely.
So for me personally, it took about 4 years, I think, to fully come to terms with my diagnosis. That might be the same for you as well.
Same for me too. I mean, because I don't think before I would have been ready to share my story. But now I just feel that, okay, this is what I have, and people just need to deal with it.
And it's interesting what you were saying about parties and things as well. And I think this is something that you develop after a few years of having the condition. You know what your triggers are, and how to deal with things better. So, like, if I was going to a party, for example, I'd take like the whole day to get ready. So I'd get ready like bits and pieces throughout the day, and then I'd sleep like as much as possible. The day after, I'd make sure it's empty so I could sleep as much as possible. And it's just that awareness of, like, how am I going to feel after this? How am I going to feel, like, in the
I guess it all comes down to timing, like, that whole time. And you do learn a lot about yourself, like sometimes I guess the whole that journey, and just learning as you go, I guess. And you can learn from people that have similar conditions as well, like what they might do that might help you. And you definitely learn about your triggers, like what really triggers you and things like that. And that really helps you, I think.
Absolutely. Definitely. But like I say, it does take time to
definitely. It's not like one day I'm diagnosed. It's a process, like a long process. And I'm still learning. I feel like even after 4 years, I'm like, okay, this is something new I didn't know. So you keep learning, I guess. That's the main thing.
It's crazy, it really is. It's such an interesting journey at the same time, though. So Enabled Warriors, this is the part of the show where we find out a little bit more about the personality of our guest with some super quick secrets. Are you ready for this, Sandy?
Yes.
I know this is
very
what
excited.
you've been waiting for.
Totally.
Okay, let's start things off. What is the most inspiring book that you've ever read?
Book about Mother Teresa.
Ooh, nice.
Loved it.
It kind of like her life story, kind of
like a biography, what she did, and the selfless act she was, constantly helping the sick people. I love. That was amazing.
Wow. Oh, that's really good. I didn't actually know. I don't know why, but I didn't actually know that she had a blog. So
Yeah, she does. Yes, it's an amazing thing.
What is the weirdest thing that you'd say you'd ever done?
Okay, so I do an app. It's an app called TikTok. I'm not sure if you've heard of it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, where you can break into a dance. You could be mimicking like certain things, voiceovers and all that. So it's like a platform where everyone, like, people like kids, adults, everyone goes into that app and does silly things. And that, I mean, for me, it's so much fun and brings so much joy to my life. But yeah, people might think it might be weird.
That's really cool. Like, I didn't actually. Okay, and I'm going to show my age now, totally. But like, I didn't actually know what TikTok did. Like, I've heard of it, but I didn't actually know what.
Oh, okay. About. It's awesome. Like that's where I get some entertainment from.
Really? Ooh, yeah. I'm gonna have to try that now.
You should. You really should. It's awesome.
So, what is your favorite place that you've ever visited?
Favorite place you've ever visited? So I think my favorite place would be India.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, you should. It's such an amazing place to be. So much culture, and the food was beautiful. Yeah. It's such a tropical place as well. Which I did not expect actually, because I have gone to the south part of India. It was one of the best places I've ever been.
Nice.
So I think I would have to say the scariest thing I did was it was in Wonderland. It was this massive boat ride, and I remember just getting like flipped from one side to the other, it was insane. And I think after that I don't think I was able to go on many rides. It was that freaky. Like it still creeps in my mind sometimes.
Oh wow, so you've kind of got PTSD from a ride.
I'm not good with rides, but that was just another level. Yeah, that was just another level.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Oh my gosh. Okay. Where can other warriors find out more about you and what you do?
So people can follow me on Instagram called Happy Mindset. I've also got a Facebook page, Happy Mindset, and also I have videos like on positivity and mental health, chronic illness, also on YouTube. So they can find me there, and I've got my own personal account on Instagram called Sandy Bista, and that's if they want some entertainment, because that's where I do my TikTok videos. And I also put some inspiring quotes and things like that. So that's where that people can find me.
Amazing. So let's just repeat those again. So on Instagram and Facebook, search for Happy Mindset, and that's happy with an I at the end. That's really important to say.
Yes, exactly. That's right. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for coming on the show today, Sandy. We've learned so much from you, and it's really great to talk about fibromyalgia. I think you're one of the first warriors we've had that has fibromyalgia, so that's really good. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you as a guest, and I wish you well with everything that you do in the future. And remember, warriors, you connect with Sandy at Happy Mindset. That's HAPPI and then Mindset. So go and search for her on Facebook and Instagram, and go and check out her TikTok videos, because I hear it's the place to be. And remember, warriors, stay enabled. Yes. Thanks, Sandy. Bye. Okay.
Thank you so much. Bye.
If you want to fight back against your invisible illness and help take the dis out of disability, then join the tribe on Facebook, facebook.com/enabledwarriors. If you love this podcast, click that subscribe button and never miss another episode. And remember, warriors, stay enabled.